Hi, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Yes, my name is Arthur Ramirez, and I'm from Homeboy Industry. This is a place that helps gang members that were on the streets, like, and in prisons, like redirect their lives to a positive path in their life. And you said ask a little bit about myself.
Yeah.
And it gives us second chances, and right now I have a second chance in my life, because before I got the second chance, my first chance, I didn't think I had a second chance, because where my life was headed, I was on the streets. I was an active gang member doing wrong things that were not supposed to be done by on the streets. As far as I grew up in the neighborhood, I grew up in Boyle Heights, and the projects, Aliso Village, and by me growing up there, my life was like, basically I was born into gangs because of my whole family history. My life was just basically forced into the lifestyle that I grew up in, because the environment I was raised in and my caretakers, as far as where their mind was focused on, which is gangs, gang-related, drug addiction, and also by me, before I came to Homeboy Industries, before this place was created, I was living a lifestyle of gangs, and I got so attached to it as I was a kid. I've been a gang member since I was 12 and a half. Now I'm 34 years old, and as far as, my mentality was just focused on being a gang member, because that's how I was taught and raised like that, because my mom and dad, they were on drugs, and and I was in foster homes, me and my brothers and sisters. So once my family got split up, the only family that I knew was my gang, and as far as where my dad was from, in Boyle Heights. And that gang, they got a hold of us because we were kids, and that's what gangs are about, and that's how they were created. And as far as you got anything?
Whoa, wait. Just keep going.
Keep going?
Keep going for
Yeah,
You're answering literally all of
No, just keep going and keep telling the story, and then we'll stop it and we'll ask us the question separately.
He already answered 1, 2, 3, so we're probably just gonna answer one question.
Let him keep on going.
Yeah, just keep going.
Questions and we'll ask at the end.
All right. Well, you know that, my life was just based on being a gang member, and a lot of the violence that I had as far as in me, or that I was taught, is because I was living in the street life, and that street life, it took me to a dead end, which was a brick wall. It was repeatedly, because I had no education, and I was thinking, the gangs that's where the life was, because I got raised by the gang members, which were my family, at the time, thinking damn, they're helping me. I was living in the streets, and I was 12 years old, and my little brother, he was 8, and I was raising him, and I was a gang member. I was already selling drugs. My mom and dad, they weren't around, so I had nowhere to live, so I got into my neighborhood for help, as far as for family, guidance, because my parents weren't there for me and my brothers, at the time. And so I was selling drugs to survive, or, trying to get by through the gang life, and that's how I supported myself at 12 and a half. And I had to take care of my little brother. He was 8 years old, so that's the only way I thought that, we could survive, by being around the gangs, and they were teaching us how to survive on the streets, which was the wrong way. Violence and taking stuff that you think that's yours at the time, because we're so young in our minds, we don't understand at the time, and that led me into drug addiction, going to juvenile hall, placement, CYA, Youth Authority, then prison. It led to me getting shot 12 times, you know, and I've been on life support, you know, I was already halfway dead. But not only that, I lost, throughout the years, thinking the gangs, you know, my involvement with the street gang, I mean, throughout my life, you know, I thought it was meant for me, you know, which, because I didn't have an education at the time, you know, and I lost my whole family recently. Like, they just started dying, like, back to back. My sister, she died of an OD heroin addiction, and my older brother, both of them got killed. They died through the gang life. So me, Father Greg Boyle, he's been in my corner since I was a kid, since I was 12 years old. And, you know, I finally, out of all these years before Homeboy Industries was created, at the time in the 90s, I just like always refused. Nah, I don't want a job. I'm good. You know, because I was so comfortable with my mentality and my way of living like that, you know, as refusing help, you know, in a positive way. I always looked at it as being a negative person and living that lifestyle in a negative way as far as the streets. Instead, you know, Father Greg Boyle was always in my corner trying to bring positivity to my life. And I was always refusing it. So now it's 2015. I finally walked into these doors, you know, the Homeboy Industries, and I finally accepted the second chance that I have right now, you know? Because I looked at it like, you know what, let me see, all these years I'm on the streets gangbanging, and it hasn't really done nothing for me, so let me see if I could try a positive way of walking into Homeboy Industries, and it has. I got a job, I wake up every morning, I'm a responsible person, you know? And, you know, I understand that, now I understand that, like, I could go somewhere in life, you know? Everybody has a second chance, you know? We're all human beings, I see it, by me being in Homeboys, I could get that second chance because I'm here today. And I could have a better future. And this place, Homeboy Industries, gets me to not think about dwelling on the past. What's done is done. I can't go and turn around and change what happened and what was done to me in the past, because I'm not going to go nowhere. That's why I'm here today, learning how to work on myself through anger management, through all the services they have at Homeboy Industry. That right there is helping me move forward in my life, to change my life how it was before in the past. And it's teaching me how to live today, not yesterday, or not, you know, living what happened to me in the past. So I just gotta move forward. And this is a positive, and Homeboy Industries is a positive and a healthy place to be at, because it heals you. You know, through talking to people, you know, sharing your life stories that you went through. Like, when I talk to you, I feel good. Like, that day met all you guys, I felt like, you know, I needed to talk to somebody to relieve the truth. You know, you guys asked me, like, hey, I was real with you guys, you know? So that, by doing that in my life, now I'm learning, like, how to let a lot of the how do you say, like a wall that's built up. It's so many years of my life living negative and angry at, you know, the world. By me releasing it at Homeboys Industries, it's taught me how to socialize with people and releasing it on my own to human beings.
What was the main reason why you joined the gang?
The reason is because my older brother, you know, I looked up to him, and I looked up to my older brother like he was a role model. You know, like if my brother would have not chose gangs, I don't think I would have chose gangs, because he was everything that I looked up to. He was like my idol. You know, I always wanted to be like him because he was older than me, and whatever he said, you know, I believed him, and wherever he took me to, I listened to him because he was my older brother. I looked up to him, but his mind, you know, he got caught up in the gangs, you know, because he looked up to my dad as a role model. So it started from my dad, and then my dad, you know, his role model was just being involved in the gang. So my brother took that direction because he was the first one in our family. He was the oldest one. And then from him, it went to me. And then my little brother, he looked up to me. So, like it was like a pattern.
Like a
and I didn't even see it, like a chain of reaction. And I didn't see that, damn, I'm influencing him. My older brother's influencing me, and my dad's influencing him. But if my dad would have not chose to leave us in the gang, and he would have went somewhere else, which school, I would have listened. My older brother would have listened to him. Then I would have listened to my older brother, and the chain reaction would have been flipped different. But it was just based on the gang, so that's the reason. My reason why I fell into the gang, you know, because I wanted to be like my older brother and follow his direction, because you know that's who I looked up to as a role model.
Do you think if there were no gang preventions, just like Homeboy Industries, do you think you would still be in your gang life?
Actually, I think if there wasn't any gang intervention, especially in Homeboy Industries, and Father Greg Boyle, that's like he's the only man that I ever listened to as a father figure, you know, because my dad, he was like, he was never there, you know, so this man, Father Greg, was just like a father to me, you know, so if Homeboy Industry wasn't created, or Father Greg Boyle didn't try to come up with this idea of this place, I know for sure that I would have been involved in the gangs, and my mentality would have just been stuck there. I would have either been dead, I would have been doing life in prison, or a drug addict for the rest of my life, because I would look at it as like there's no hope, you know, at all in life, because, you know, I mean, Homeboy's Industries just gives you hope, you know, because you come in here and you, like I told you, I said, you know, I mean, by me walking in here, giving it a chance to see if it works or not, and, you know, I mean, actually it did work in some part of my life, you know, because I'm here today, you know, and that's the reason why I'm thankful that Homeboy Industry is created. But if there was no gang intervention, I would still be from how I was before in the past, an active gang member on the street, living the same life.
Who informed you about this program, and what have you learned from it?
Well, Father Greg's the one that he's been trying for many years to, you know, he's the one that informed me about this program, you know, but before Homeboy Industries was created, I mean, he was trying to inform me in the streets, when I was in the streets as a kid, to change my life around, you know. I mean, he used to go on the projects, Aliso Village, on a 10-speed, on a bike, you know, and, you know, we would always, like, we would always chase him away, like we thought he was a cop, or, you know, we didn't have no trust in him, because, you know, we thought, oh, this is just a white man, he's working for the cops, he's just trying to come in here in our territory to take all of us down. Like, we thought he was there for bad reasons, for the cops, or for, like, to put us in jail, but he didn't care. He didn't fear he didn't fear the gang members, because he knew that he was doing something positive for us, and he kept coming back, and that's how we gained his trust. And we finally got his trust because he was our voice. When people, like, judged us from the outside instead of the inside, he was always there for us in our lives to help us change. So I was introduced to Homeboy Industry now through Father Greg Boyle. It was called Jobs for Future in the beginning, but I still wasn't ready. And this place has helped me change my life, because now I'm responsible. I wake up every morning, like, man, I got a job. I gotta be there on time. I can't be late. You know, I mean, I gotta try to better myself. You know, so that's what introduced me to Homeboy Industry. That's how my life has changed to become a better person with responsibilities in life.
What you've been through and this program that you're in, do you have any advice for anybody out there that is headed within that lifestyle of the gang member?
I mean, my advice to them is, you know, I mean, is to see that, you know, they have a second chance in life, you know, I mean, and the people that are out there that are, you know, still involved in gangs and, you know, are headed towards gangs, my advice to them is Homeboy Industry is created for them to change their lives and redirect their lives so they can either shy away from the gang and have their second chance in their life and move forward with a positive future for themselves. And the other, my advice to the ones that are headed towards gangs is they can come through Homeboy Industries and talk to people here for advice and for help that they need to, so they don't get directed down the wrong path. So, I mean, Homeboy Industries is created for that, to change people's lives and redirect it into a positive lifestyle and a better future for a second chance in life.